What's up, Juventini? Well, never a dull moment. Vlahovic, has he fired shots? We'll take a look at what our striker had to say on international duty, as he's got some of the fan base fired up. And then other news in international duty, of course, the Azzurri face France today in action, and which Juve players are set to be in that starting lineup. We'll take a look there. And then, of course, the rumor mill. January, Juve looking to bolster the squad, but they might have to come up with funds. Today, we'll look at a few ways they could be coming up with the money that they're going to need to bolster the squad. But are they going to have a change of heart and bring somebody back after a loan? Let's take a look at all the news together right now. I'm Berto. This is the AJ's here channel dedicated to Juventus. It's November 17th. Let's rock with the news. So again, we keep wondering, is Juve in fact gonna just wait and stand firm until January? Thiago Giallo's name being brought up into the mix even for a loan return in January. Well, when it comes to Thiago Giallo, he will definitely be staying at Berto, and that is simply because of the fact that Juve will not risk damaging the potential business, as his potential final move to Berto would help us in the purchase price on Conceição and relieve some of that 30 million euro release clause for Chico. In terms of some of these other targets in January, Lindelof being named as one of these options. Yesterday we hear the news that there's been no contact from Juventus for Lindelof. So does that mean he is completely wiped off the slate? No, that just means there's simply no contact from Juve's end. But remember, Lindelof was actually proposed to Juventus, so it doesn't mean that this still couldn't go down. But in January, in general, with Juve not acting whatsoever in free agency and waiting it out, there are more growing reports that the financial situation is not in a position for Juve to potentially get some of the guys that they could be after, making it, again, really strange that we just won't even look at any single one of these free agents that are currently available. But money might have to be brought in. Bangula, rumors continue to swirl. He could be the one that is sold in January. But we know what Mirko Di Natale stated, and he stated there is zero intentions from Juventus to sell Bangula. Well, we might have to wait and see how that one pans out. The other way for Juve to drum up the money that they could need is the actual Supercoppa tournament that takes place in January. So simply for participating, there will be 1.6 million euros gained for Juventus. But if they win the semifinal, that is 5 million euros. If they win the tournament outright, that is 8 million euros, which could help them in potentially bolstering the squad in January. But for me, you know where I stand. And we talked about this on yesterday's live show. Great session between myself and Omer. Don't bank on results to get your business done. I have absolutely no idea why none of these free agents, just one free agent, could not come in and help the situation, or why you wouldn't even look potentially at a loan recall. The Giallo one makes sense for business reason, but there's another name out there that could be a safety net, and yeah, it is Rugani. Let's see what they decide to do. In terms of financials, there was a healthy savings out of this Pogba termination. 30 million euros is what Juve has saved in the termination of Paul Pogba's contract. So you get yourself a situation for those fans that still don't understand why the club would do that and believe they should have still kept him. You're basically banking on a guy that had major health issues before this doping thing, or saving yourself 30 million euros in costs right now. Yes, we know he said he was willing to take a pay cut, whatnot, but how much? And is it still, in the grand scheme of things, better for this club right now to save that money as you continue to build this project in the summer? For me, yes. I think it's the right call, but you guys know the drill. You weigh in the comments. Now, as far as Gatti goes, his renewal, all but done. They've been working on it since October. He will see a salary increase, and it'll be good for a 5-year term on the extension, excuse me. Speaking of Gatti, he was rumored to be in the projected lineup for the Azzurri to face France today. However, I don't believe you'll expect to see him in that lineup. As the Azzurri set to face France today, we're expected to see Cambiaso and Locatelli starting for them in that match. All right, now keeping it in international duty. Well, Vlahovic, he's got fans fired up after an interview after Serbia's recent performance where he had himself a good match, and he was simply asked about how he sees himself strong in that game and everything, and asked about his performance with Serbia, and he simply had this to say: I don't have many defensive tasks with the national side. It keeps me more lucid. And when running a lot, I find myself, I cannot be as fresh with full of energy in front of goal. Shots fired. So is he actually stating the defensive tasks are too much at Juventus? Is he also stating this to previous regime or now also with Motta? Is he making excuses? Is he simply just talking about how he sees himself playing with the national side? And is it a big nothing burger? For me, I'm not really going to take a whole lot out of this, to be quite honest. Again, I haven't been terribly bothered by him as an individual, but more so as a team and our creation in general as a team and a cohesive unit, not so much him as an individual. So I may not be the guy to ask, but I'm going to ask all of you. Are those shots fired? Does that fire you up? Is he making excuses? Hit me in the comments, everybody, all right? And last but certainly not least, injury rundown. Luis expected to be on the bench for the Milan match. Adzic, another 3 weeks, all right? Another 3 weeks out, potentially missing Milan, Villa, and match against Lecce. That's your news break. You know the drill, everybody, all right? Like the video, subscribe to the channel, join our AJC army, but let's mix it up in the comments, all right? And I'll be back tomorrow, as always, with another edition. Till then, fino alla fine, forza Juventus. Ciao a tutti.